Hello everyone, I am the Weather Dude. Welcome back, and today we are going to be talking about Invest 90L that could potentially bring some minor impacts to the southeastern United States. Before I get started with the video though, be sure to drop a like on the video if you haven't already, and please consider subscribing because you will get the latest and best weather content that you definitely don't want to miss out on. And we are just going to get straight into the video. So here is Invest 90L, and it is sitting pretty much right off of the southeast coast. Now, as of the 8 a.m. National Hurricane Center advisory, it's sitting at about 79 degrees west and about 29 degrees north. So you can see it's a well-defined low-pressure area. It's 160 miles east of Daytona Beach, Florida. We're still seeing disorganized shower and thunderstorm activity east and southeast of center. Conditions are still marginally conducive for development, and we could still see a depression or storm later today or early Monday. Although if it did form, I would say more of a tropical depression than a tropical storm because it really doesn't have that much time left. It's not like conditions are rapidly conducive for development either. Another Hurricane Hunter aircraft could fly in this afternoon if necessary. Of course, Florida interest and even interest in Georgia and South Carolina should monitor the progress of the system because you can still see some enhanced moisture. And of course, Florida, you guys get your daily thunderstorms, so that could add some oomph to those thunderstorms. So definitely, even the Florida thunderstorms by themselves can be pretty dangerous. And if we get a tropical system of any magnitude to, influence those thunderstorms, that could be bad for Florida. 50% chance of development within the next 2 days and 5 days. All right, so here we have the satellite imagery of Invest 90L. And as you can see in the recent satellite frames, you can see the blow-up of thunderstorms pretty much near center. Again, center is right about here, I would say. All right, pretty much right about here. I know it's hard to see, but you can see sort of a little bit of rotation in there. And just east of center, there we have those blow-up of thunderstorms. And even the outer bands and areas to the east and south, we're seeing blow-ups of thunderstorms around it. Again, it's starting to hit the Gulf Stream, which is definitely a good current, right? And you can almost see like a little mini gust front kind of dropping in. So that's going to help to eventually move it towards Florida. All right, kind of look it looks like a little gust front, just some clouds moving north to south. And that's obviously going to help potentially kick the storm back towards the west. So here we have the water temperatures. Here it's sitting right now in about 84. It's probably the low. This is as of 8 o'clock, the low position. So it's probably over here by now. 85-degree waters is what it's going to be eventually sitting in. All right, and potentially dropping to maybe 83 or 84 once it passes the Gulf Stream, because we know the Gulf Stream is some pretty warm water. But even in like the Space Coast and first coast of Florida, 85. Over on the Gulf side, look at Tampa, 87-degree waters. Like that is insanely warm. Even the west coast of Florida, in general, 87. Like that is like practically bath water. All right, 87 all the way down to Florida's west coast here. So Gulf of Mexico really has just really warmed up over the past week or two. On the Atlantic side, still pretty warm. Remember, this is July. We don't see the warmest waters in the Atlantic in general until September because the sun takes longer to heat the water than it does land. So those hotter days on land are meaning that the waters are getting warmer, but of course, the sun takes longer to heat the water than it does to heat the land. Right? Now, here's the European models. Winds of about 30 miles an hour. All right, and you can see the low position is right here. But notice, this is about 8 or 9 o'clock, right? This is 11 o'clock. Look, this flag right here I just put down is where it was at 8. It really hasn't moved much in about 2 to 3 hours, right? Here is 2 p.m. There's 5 p.m. So in all that time, according to the European model, this is where the low was at 8 a.m. This is where it was at 5 p.m. So it's not moving very fast. And that's one thing that's going to be in favor for its development, all right? Is because it's not going to be moving fast. It's going to have more time over water, potentially more time to develop. And those stronger wind gusts for Jacksonville, St. Augustine, Palm Coast, those wind gusts of 25 miles an hour plus are going to start at about 10 or 11 o'clock this morning, right? Here's 2 o'clock, here's 5 o'clock. So pretty much, from 10 o'clock all the way through 5, we're still seeing winds gusts between 25 and 30 miles an hour from Palm Coast to St. Augustine up to Jacksonville, even St. Mary's. And it's an onshore flow. So potentially, if we catch those areas of high tide, of course, that can mean potentially some minor coastal flooding if we can catch it at high tide. I'll pull up the tide tables in a little bit. All right, but here is 8 o'clock. The low is sitting right here. Still clear as day, right offshore. 8 p.m. We're still seeing the on that north side. In this case, the northwest side, we're seeing these stronger wind gusts. And then the winds will wear down by 11 o'clock tonight. All right. And then that's pretty much it. So then the low moves on land. So now, with that said, let's look at the sea surface temperature anomalies. Again, off the coast of Florida, we are above average. All right. And if we look at the trends, like look at the Gulf, for example. The Gulf has just like exploded in the past like 7 days. We're talking about anywhere from 1 to as much as 1.5 to 2 degrees Celsius in the past week. But even still, east coast of Florida, you guys have definitely warmed up as well. All right, and look at the sea surface temperatures. Very warm water here. This is like your 87-degree water in the central Gulf on the west coast of Florida. All right, but even where the storm is right here, 85 degrees Fahrenheit is still pretty warm. So here is the tide table. All right, this is for Jacksonville Beach, right? And remember, if we go back to the European model of the wind graphic, right, Jacksonville Beach, all right, your winds could start at about 10 a.m.-ish, right? And look at what's at 10 a.m. almost, the high tide. So this could not line up perfectly, but pretty close to high tide. So those winds are going to start kicking in pretty much between now and the next hour or two. You're going to start to see those higher wind gusts, right? And low tide will be coming in this afternoon, so that's good. And then going back up, going up another foot. Look at a 5-foot high tide to a 6-foot high tide by 10 o'clock tonight. Now, if you remember, looking at tonight, the winds will be calming down, but still at 8 o'clock, those winds are still going, right? But then they will calm down by 11 o'clock. But of course, high tide was an hour before that, so the winds could still be a little bit stronger than shown here because the European does like 3-hour loops. All right, so just keep an eye on that between this morning high tide and tonight's high tide there for Jacksonville Beach. All right. Now, looking at the storm right here, it is batting a little bit of dry air. All right. There's not a ton of it like we're seeing off the coast of Africa right now, but there is a little bit of dry air it does have to combat. Wind shear, really not that much. And where it has been has dropped 10 knots off the east coast of Florida. Wind shear has dropped 10 knots in the past 24 hours. So that's certainly good news. Current strength, according to the latest 8 a.m. update, 35 mile per hour winds. Pressure dropped from yesterday down to 1,011 millibars. So it's getting a little bit stronger. And here, oops, sorry about that. Here is the current low position. Again, pretty much sitting right around 78.5 degrees west and about 29-ish degrees north. So those are like your coordinates for you. Here is the model track guidance. All right, we're refreshing it. We're getting the 12Z model track guidance in now. Pretty much all the models bring it to the northwest in sort of this direction right here. Really not due west, but kind of northwest. So that's why I said earlier in the video, interest in Georgia and South Carolina should also be monitoring the system. All right. And here we have the GEFS model tracks. All right, so these are sort of refreshed for you guys here. And you can see these ones bring a little bit further west into Florida as opposed to Georgia and South Carolina. All right, GEPS model tracks bring it northwest at first and then kind of hook it east. And that's what some of the global models are showing later on in this video. You'll be seeing them pretty soon. Intensity guidance. As you saw just before I refreshed it, not many models made a tropical storm. We're seeing a couple more models, 3, maybe 4, are starting to pick up on that a bit more. Most, however, do keep it on the high end of a tropical depression or just even remaining as an invest. All right, so looking at our ship's diagnostic message here, all right, the GFS version of it, you can see through the next 48 hours after that, everything says NA because the storm has no chance to develop after that. So wind shear, look how low it is. Could even be dropping even more. Sea surface temperatures could actually warm up before its landfall. And heat content pretty much remaining the same between like 15 and 30. All right. So on the storm speed as well, could pick up a bit more, but still, the storm will probably be moving less than 10 miles an hour for its entire duration. So it's not going to be moving very fast. And of course, that's why I said that rainfall threat could be more enhanced. All right. So here's the HWRF. You can see the low moves close, Georgia, South Carolina. That's a landfall pretty much later in the day, Monday. And then look how it just sits over South Carolina, producing those rain and thunderstorms and moving off the coast again. All right. And notice those heavy rain bands, just like in a normal tropical storm, could still happen with an invest, regardless of development. Now they do have it becoming a tropical storm through this late this morning and early afternoon, but then weakening after that as it heads towards Georgia and South Carolina in terms of wind speed. Right, European model. This was 8 p.m. yesterday. All right, you can see there's this low center right there, moving towards the Florida's east coast, right about there. All right, this is 8 p.m. tonight. 8 p.m. Monday, Tuesday. All right, so notice it doesn't move very much. It's not very much energy after that, but that's the low right there. It's very elongated at this point. All right, then it can move along a front. Maybe it gets caught up in a front and another stalled front and just pretty much drops southward again. All right, so the GFS model, right, bringing it pretty much right into Georgia and South Carolina. All right, and then pretty much moving off the coast and really not much energy left after that. So this could impact Florida, Georgia, and South Carolina. I think those are the top 3 states that you definitely need to watch out for with this system. And if it were to move due west, then I would look out in Georgia and Alabama, maybe even Mississippi, but I think that's pushing it a little bit. But for right now, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, you guys definitely need to watch this the most. Canadian model, again, right into Georgia, up South Carolina, right up the goes pretty much west, northwest, and then up the coast and then out to sea. Right, there's what's remaining of the energy after that. And notice the mid-level winds, right? It's not really forming a mid-level center, just a low-level center, right? And it just moves itself out to sea, right? So it's not very stacked well. So wrapping up here, so here are some of the models, some of the rainfall totals. Now, of course, it could be higher than this, but GFS, notice those areas of those red splotches of 2 to 4, even over 4 inches, right? That could follow any of those thunderstorms that are enhanced by our invest, right? Same goes with Georgia and South Carolina. Some patchy areas going over an inch or 2. Definitely watch out. And if it comes down in a short period of time, potentially some flooding issues. Now, a European model does have a more concentrated area of rain, pretty much right over Florida and southern Alabama and southern Georgia, because they have it going more westbound. So definitely still watch out for over 2 inches of rain in South Florida, according to the European model. Again, whatever could fall in any of those thunderstorms enhanced by the invest. And the Canadian model, right? I'm pretty sure, this is the Canadian model. And again, over an inch or 2 here, maybe over 2 to 3 near Savannah. But again, in any of those thunderstorms, rainfall totals could be higher. Development chances, 80 to 90% chance according to our NCEP, FNMOC, GEM, and European models. And then if we look at the NCEP ensembles, probability of tropical cyclone genesis, pretty much about 60 to 70 or 70 to 80% chance. And then again, tracking pretty much in this direction. So that is it for today's video. Thank you guys for watching. Again, Florida, Georgia, South Carolina, and even Alabama, definitely be on the lookout because we could see some potential flash flooding. I think rainfall will be the #1, if not only threat. We could see some gusty winds, but nothing that's gonna, nothing could really kill anyone from wind alone. Because I think winds are gonna generally remain pretty light for now. All right, so pretty much rainfall, pretty much be the thing you're gonna have to watch out for, and of course rip currents on those coastal locations. So thank you guys for watching. I am the Weather Dude signing off. Till next time, I will catch you guys in the next video.